Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Zombie deck. Brains being shared amongst the zombie family, I guess. Two of Cups. We're doing the Two of Cups today. This, generally I see this as depicting the two, the two lovers, the two whatever, the couple. Sometimes some of these cards have this interesting depiction of an individual looking in a mirror and either seeing a different version of themselves or seeing like a gender reversed, like their romantic sexual partner in the mirror. But the way I'm going to be looking at this card today is kind of most of the pip cards. I think I'm starting to develop a more solid theory that makes sense to me to apply to all the pip cards, the number cards. But I'm enjoying looking at them like the kind of like the interactions between court cards and the major arcana in a way. And in general, I just like to think of them as some sort of interaction that is happening that we might be involved with. We're interacting with something in the world, some individuals, some situation, and it's not just us generally in some sense. It's some specific aspect of our character, of our personality that is interacting. So with this one, I think that the individual being interacted with that this depicts is a younger, or at least certainly a less experienced individual, especially in the, specifically almost in the, oh, that's a nice card, in the realm of romance, relationships, affairs, love, that kind of stuff. So it's someone, they don't necessarily have to be younger than us, but less experienced, more innocent, more naive. And now we are, by them, we're seen as having just come out of something, just coming out of some radically transformative event related to relationships. So in general, the first one that comes to my mind is like a breakup. And I don't want to sound pessimistic. It's not just that breakups are the big events and that getting together isn't the big event. They're both big events. I guess I'm more of a romantic where in general I prefer to focus on all those exciting, first dates, the hookups, the getting to know someone, having your eyes opened to some aspect of someone's character that you didn't notice before, realizing like, holy shit, I think I really like this person. Those kinds of moments, those are great moments. But nonetheless, there are also the other moments where separating from someone, being betrayed, uh, just all the bad breakup and separation stuff that could happen. Now, while I think that both of those roughly happen an equal amount of times to people in the world, I think that often when we're experiencing that really exciting, meeting or encounter with someone that we're really excited about, I think to we're less likely to talk about it to others, because if it's really that special, then I mean, often we're just spending all of our time with that person. They're the only thing that's on our mind, and we just want to be with them as much as possible. Whereas in the inverse, you break up often, especially the breakups that are really rough on people are the breakups that are ending a relationship that lasted for a significant amount of time, where the two people got pretty close to each other. Often that means that you get further away from other relationships. You start making a life, even if it's just relatively casual. You still start making this joint life with this one individual. Usually takes its toll on your other friendships and relationships. So often it's when you break up that a lot of people all of a sudden start seeing a lot more of you. They start hearing from you more often. And often this is the case when relatively inexperienced individuals can be in your presence while you talk about what happened. This big event just happened. It was traumatic. And now, maybe you're trying to comfort yourself. Maybe you're trying to make some sense in the world. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people adopt pretty cynical and nihilistic attitudes, and not just about the person that they, had the breakup with, often just about everyone. It's like, how cliche is it for someone to be like, fuck it. I'm so over men. Just, never talking to women again. It's not, the pain isn't worth it. Those kinds of statements, right? Now I think that if we're old enough, if we're mature enough, even while we're saying those things, we could recognize, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I remember doing this before, and then I remember falling in love after that, and it's like, you don't mean it. It's just right now you're fucked up, and it makes sense, feels good. The narrative helps explain things now, but it's not really the complete truth. It's kind of just what you got to tell yourself to maybe try and manage some of the pain. It's also not the best way of explaining the situation and managing the pain. That's a whole separate thing. The point here is other people are going to see you, you know, and when you say those things around other people, and specifically here the people that are either younger or just inexperienced, or maybe they've never been in love before, maybe they've been in a couple of relationships, but they've never been in love, and let's say you're going around talking trash about love. Some of those people are going to believe you. They're going to think, oh yeah, I know this person. This is a good person. I know them. I don't think they would just be saying this stuff if it wasn't true. And on some level, they're going to take your word for it. I mean, if you're a parent, I kind of feel like this could be particularly, kind of dangerous to, like, maybe you're going through a divorce. Could be really impactful on your kids. I mean, depending on how old they are, but almost at any age to witness their parents, these individuals that they might be modeling themselves after, say that, you know, tell you something like, "Don't ever get married, kid." Like, you know, it's uh, it's it's pretty. It's a pretty rough thing to take seriously. And again, I think that often when people say these things, they don't actually totally mean them. It's just in the moment, but again, you might know that. Maybe other people that are as experienced or more experienced than you might know that. Some people, especially people more experienced, they'll be the first ones to point out, be like, they'll say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I remember this. You're being dramatic. Check back in with me in 6 months and see how much we both laugh about, you know, oh, how terrible it was." You'll move on. We always move on, but yeah, but you really got to watch out. Be considerate around those people that your words can actually influence. Your words can shape their worldview, and it's not just the relationship thing. It's kind of with things. With things being destroyed, being torn apart, unions of some sort being disintegrated, So sometimes sometimes you had a bad day at work, and you come home, and your roommate, your kid, whoever, you're like, you know what? If you fucking ever get the chance to steal from your employer, fuck them and steal. It's stupid. Jobs are dumb. Whatever. Again, experienced people will know. Oh yeah. Oh wow. You're upset. You're fucking talking stupid shit, exaggerating at least, right? But again, some of those people that hear you say that, they won't know that you're being hyperbolic. they'll know that you're upset, but they won't necessarily know to link that with the fact that you're exaggerating what you mean. In the short video, I also mentioned something like, you know, celebrating victory in a just war, right? I guess this will be my last example, but sometimes sometimes there are things worth fighting. Sometimes there are people that deserve punishing. I mean, we as a society we certainly believe that some individuals, absolutely deserve to go to jail or pay people back for the damages they've caused or return the things they've stolen. That there are there are consequences that deserve to be carried out, often at the threat of force or even with the use of force, right? Um, and often when we celebrate those victories, and when the victory comes at the cost of someone's defeat, so it's you know some asshole that was just the other day I was walking through this kind of hippie neighborhood, and this guy came up to me and essentially started mugging me. Like, he it was, and essentially is not mugging me. It's something close to it. But he started talking about, he was like, spare some change, and I was like, not today. And then he started kind of casually mentioning that, like, he hates asking for change, but it's better than, like, stealing or pickpocketing or just punching someone in the face who just told them they weren't going to give him any change. And I was like, are you describing me right now? Just so we're clear, are you mugging me? And he's like, well, I don't know. Are you going to give me some money or not? You want to find out? And I was like, huh. And I was kind of frozen, trying to decide, and I didn't have any money on me. Um, I was trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do here? It's like middle of the day, sun is shining, and as I'm thinking this, three cop cars pull up, and cops walk over to the guy and just on the spot handcuff him and walk him into one of the cruisers. And as he's being, walked off, he's like, "Hey, what the hell? I was just talking to the guy." And they're like, "Buddy, we've gotten so many calls about you." Like, and it turned out that he was just this wasted guy. He's got one of his hands was all bandaged up and bloody, like he had already been punching things. And apparently he'd just been rolling around this neighborhood, like I said, middle of the day, just like breaking a window, pushing some people around, stealing a drink, stealing a beer off of a guy's table, like, off of a patio, just being a nuisance. Anyway, point of my example is that in a situation like that, if you see someone like that getting taken away, you might think to yourself, fucking good riddance. Fucking take that guy away. Fuck that guy, right? But someone else can see you expressing that attitude of, like, yeah, that guy was defeated. We're the winners. He's the loser. This is something worth celebrating. Sometimes people see that, and if they don't understand the context of why that person deserves to have that happen, they could just mistake that for, like, the pleasure. What was that? Nietzsche had a great term. It's like the joy of the knife. It's like a sadistic pleasure. Some people can mistake that for, like, just enjoying seeing someone suffer, seeing someone get arrested, getting handcuffed, getting punched in the head or something. And so it's another one of these situations. Like, if they don't understand the context of how this what this interaction, what this social interaction, and again, it's, I think, fundamentally it's always some sort of, it's a relationship between people, and I think the dangerous side of it is when it's a negative relationship. So yeah, like, seeing someone get carted off or physically, punished or something, and expressing satisfaction with that, being like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. It's like, some people are just, again, they're young, they're naive, they're really agreeable. They might experience that interaction and they might just think, oh, you know, I look up I look up to this guy, and he, I guess, just thinks it's a great idea that this guy got fucking, you know, beat up or something. Um, yeah, it's you don't want someone to mistake celebrating, justice. You don't want someone to mistake that for celebrating violence for its own sake. Like those are very different things. And again, someone young, inexperienced, or in a case like that, even just uninformed, they showed up late. They didn't see all the chaos this guy caused. I for a moment, I was also frozen when the cops showed up and just handcuffed this guy, because I was like, that's really weird. This guy hasn't. I mean, he was. It was seeming like he was, in the middle of threatening me, but it's like I was like, what are they, psychic? They're just driving around. They knew what this guy was going to do. So even I was kind of like, I don't think this warrants my satisfaction yet. And then after I had heard of all the shit he was doing, I was like, okay, well, yeah, fucking right, good, get him off the street, you know. Um, but yeah, so situations like that, I think, are the kind of potential warning of this card. The the naive overlooking or looking onto uh, a shaken up, some sort of a relationship shakeup, some sort of negative interaction between individuals that they don't fully understand, um, but that they certainly hold you in high enough regard to at least in some way model themselves after you, to be inspired or influenced by that. So be wary of how you conduct yourself around people that are going to be impressionable to these kinds of things. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you for watching and listening. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment. Free reading for your chance to win a free one-on-one reading. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.